The Honorable Ed Holder.
Family is truly what our party's all about. When we talk about family values, I've gone through the riding, and I've met with folks at the door. I've met with folks at synagogues and mosques and churches right across London West. I've gone through a number of ethnic communities. Our values are all the same. You know what it is? Whether they've come to this country from a different place or their kids were born here, or all of us have come from somewhere at some different time. In my case, it was a long time ago. But I will say to you, it's all about going to a place like Canada where values are honored, where family is respected, the work ethic is absolutely paramount, because aside from the quote-unquote free lunch we have today, it's about giving something back to the greatest country in the world. Now the good news is, we live in London, Ontario, which is the greatest city in Canada. Ergo, we have the greatest city in the greatest country in the world, and that's where we all are. But aren't we blessed that we're in this place where we can do that, where we can raise our families, be proud, we know that they're safe. And one of the focus points that you will see that our Conservative Party has focused on are the economy and jobs. The second thing is on family. And the third is security. But they all correlate. And Canada has gone through the worst recession of, I would dare say, as I look at this very young group here, the worst recession in all of our lifetimes. The other thing that we talk about has to do with jobs and the economy. Did you know in London, Ontario, 10th largest city in Canada, for those who don't know, but I think you all do, London, Ontario enjoys a 94.7 employment rate. So it's interesting, we talk about unemployment, but our employment rate at 94% is significant. And the reason that that's significant is because the last month it was monitored back in June, we'd gone up a couple of basis points in unemployment. But did you know at that same time, 2,600 more people were employed that month. That means since the depths of the recession, some 16,000 Londoners are working that didn't work before the recession hit. That's very dramatic. And that talks about the growth of our economy. I'm really optimistic. We've heard some tough news, and London has been hit. Who's kidding? We remember double-digit unemployment figures. And we know about Kellogg, and we know about electromotive diesel. But I tell you, there are reasons to be optimistic. When I see what's happening with Dr. Edgar, the new plant that came to London, Ontario, when I see Natra Chocolates, the new company that came to London, Ontario, when I see the growth of Starlink, when I see the growth of Infotech, when I see a company, actually, a friend of mine who owns York Developments, is developing a place that used to be called the Grand Harmony Buffet. And now what they're doing, they're going to be putting in, they're calling it the Cube. They've gutted this place, they're going to be putting high-tech employees into this cube, one firm, and what that will mean is that will mean employment for 250 people. And I share some of these stories because I think there's great reason to be optimistic. And London, Ontario in particular, I gotta say, when you think about why London is so special, and why it's the greatest city in Canada, we have a balanced economy. We have families throughout this whole city. We're a strong digital gaming center. We've got two great educational facilities in Western and Fanshawe. It's the best place to be sick in all of Canada because of all the hospitals and the experts that we have here. It's a great facility that way. We have commercial agri that is phenomenal, from Cargill to Labatt's to so many companies that serve the commercial agricultural base. Dr. Edgar, that story I just told you about, which will hire some 300 plus employees themselves, the neat piece about that is because London is an urban oasis in a sea of agriculture, they are drawing on the rural folks for their meats for their pizza, for wheat, for vegetables, things that they can put on their pizza, and they're drawing from the local economy. That's huge stuff. Now, that's why I'm optimistic about London. That's why I'm bullish about this, and that's why we're asking you to help us in the greatest way. I think of my Cape Breton mom and why I decided to get into this 7 years ago. And she always said, Ed, community service is the price you pay to live in a place. And I always tried to take that to heart. So from the Rotary Club to St. John Ambulance to the Business Cares Food Drive, I still do. I co-chair New Year's Eve down in Victoria Park, but it's not about me, but it's about that aspect of service. I came from a business background and then decided that it was important that I continue to give back. And I was asked to consider this, and I said I would. And it's been a real privilege to serve. I've served as your member of Parliament for 7 years, 18 months and 6 days as the Minister of Science and Technology. And that makes me appreciate, when you see what we do, how smart Canadians are. When you go to universities and colleges and research institutes across the country, you can be very proud. Oh my God, the level of intelligence, people converting that to business is huge. And I'm just privileged to do that. So I'm asking your support to help me do it again. People out there understand what this Prime Minister is doing. They understand his leadership. They understand what a conservative government means for the future of Canada. And that's what I'm asking you. Tell your friends about us. If they want to talk about policy, they can talk to me. I'll talk to them. But it's important that people stand up and be accountable. So in whatever ways that you think you might be able to help, if you're not sure, ask. But we would be so sincerely grateful for your help, because you are the core of the Conservative Party in Canada. So thank you for your heart and soul. We win because that's what you give us. And I promise me, you give that to me, and I'll give it right back to you in spades. Because if there's a thing that I have learned as a member of Parliament, and in all my years of community service, it's something like Brett Mum said, you have two things in your life. You have your name and your integrity. And you don't mess up one, Edwin, without messing up the other. And I don't do that. So the point is that that's what I have to give, is all I can give from my heart and my soul to the folks from London West. If you give me that privilege to serve you again come the next Parliament, I promise you I will not let you down. God bless you all.